How'd you do, fellow mammals? What do you say let's do a silly one? With a little nibble of Beast Wars Neo. Now, Neo's been something of a long-standing mystery to me, mostly because I have a hard time with anime, okay? Like, I really struggle to keep the various 80s and 90s TF sequel series separate in my mind. Was Neo the one with the angry moist energy? Violin juggler, was it? I don't bloody know. And I even kinda thought I'd made a dent covering it in my old long rack review many years ago. But it turns out all I really said about it was, okay, that happened. What were they smoking? I guess that's a choice. Really good stuff. Yeah, and just kind of held the toy up and let its perceived weirdness do all the legwork. Because the Neo toys are a true freak show. Just an overdeveloped cataclysm of shell formers, gimmick bloat, and nightmarishly asymmetrical kibble. Asymmetric kibble? Definitely used that before. One of whose chief breakout stars simply has to be the absolute content cluster bomb that is Beast Wars Neo Heinrad. Is it Heinrad or Heinlad? I've never really known. Oh, either works. He's a rad lad. Yes, indeed. Time for some scrotal sacrilege with this beast from the east. Now then, Heinrad's kinda notorious among the TF toy oeuvre as something of a multifaceted novelty, not least of which comes from his status as a hardline Japan exclusive toy, which, like it or not, immediately cordons him off from the wider collector base, because there just ain't that many of him. And it has the side effect of lending him a sort of mystique through scarcity shared by a lot of Eastern market lads, like Deathsaurus. Have you seen the HasLab? You should back the HasLab. Add that to Heinrad's reputation as a quintessential example of gag overload, and the fact that he's a tanuki, which I understand is a Japanese raccoon dog, characterized in folklore as some kind of magical woodland bollock monster, and you've got a recipe for a YouTube review that practically writes itself. Well, that's a thing. Okay, you do you, boo. Ugh. Right then, I reckon we'll start with the beast mode, because, I mean, a beast mode's ever a surprise. Oh, look at him. I wonder what he turns into. So he's a tanuki, isn't he? And really the only way to approach it is head on. Heinrad is an upright dog rodent gremlin with a clock face on his tum-tum and a great big robot ball bag. That's his deal. That's always been his deal. That's what's up. That's what we're doing. And it is fully friggin' adorable. Oh, he's so cute. Super Mario 3. Check out this squat little squirrel friend. Alert and alive and squished up on his hind legs like a little Rory Calhoun. He does definitely have that feisty Fey-folk twinkle. With his cheeky pink ears, trash panda goth eyes, and semi-vacant gaze. He's cute, but he's trouble. And he loves it. But if we may bypass the bonkers bits for a brief bite, this is actually a very clean beast mode. Like, for such a big dafty, it's actually played remarkably straight, physically, mechanically. It's substantial, it's sturdy, it maintains the illusion despite being split down the middle. And I mean, it is a silly one, but it's not a joke. Like, it's not a literal cartoon. It's not Moon. It treats the creature with reverence and respect. And it's trying to do as earnest a job of being a plastic raccoon testicle cryptid as it possibly can. I mean, check the deco! The facial details are on point. He's head to toe in this fierce, furry texture. I love his luxurious mane and mucky little paws. Like, they really gave it some welly. They gave it some welly. That is, it's not flawless. It does have slight visible innards and the double neck joint is very clumsy. But that doesn't kill it. We know there's a robot in there. We can see the creases and the backpack peak. Back peak? It's got its whole butt out. We know. We're in on it. It even uses literally the same arms for both modes. I mean, I guess why wouldn't you? But they don't even change a little bit. Definitely a smidge awkward and all. They're mounted on this difficult toothy tilt that's perched on a swivel, which does more or less allow all the movement you'd need, but it feels pretty creaky and severe. Definitely wouldn't want to be in a hurry with it. Anyway, the arms can double as front paws for an optional quadruped mode. Quoptional. Which I guess works fine, but it doesn't look awesome, and it's nowhere near as fun as the standard sit position. The sit-tion. Like, the back legs are just solid molded single components splatted on a ball joint, and far better suited to keeping him upright in tandem with the freakishly fluffy tail and conspicuous mecha testicles. Mexticles? Should you do the ball bag? Alright, we're doing this. We're doing the nutsack, everybody. That's what we want, right? That's what we came for. So evidently it's a big part of the folklore of the Bake Danuki that they have a super huge scrote, which apparently gives them financial good fortune. But Leonardo DiCaprio's two veg are surprisingly underplayed. Like, they're oddly mechanistic. They almost look like barrels or those Christmas chockies that have got booze in them. They're the only bits on the entire boy that look like they belong on a robot, which I reckon is probably preferable to a realistic veiny dangle bag on a toy for 6-year-olds. I feel like Takara knew it was going to be weird, so they tried to play it off as something else. Oh no, they're power cells. I don't know. That's what I call mine. Anyway, I guess that brings us nicely to the other gimmicks and such, which are actually very fun in this mode. Like, his big two main accessories are a bottle of sake and a box of IOUs. He's all booze and excuses, like me in my 20s. It just multiplies the chaotic goblin mode vibe, and I kind of love that they have these unusual stringy straps. That's such an uncommon design feature, and it lets him hold them naturally and easily. There's definitely a version of this toy in another universe where they had like solid state pegs, and he had to hold them like they were handguns. And on top of that, he's got a clock in him. Oh, look at the time. Like, he's not shy about it. He's wearing it on his chest. It is his chest. Mostly what he is just a clock with some rodent robot shit hanging off it. Visibly, he's a timepiece. And it's definitely a look. It's given echoes of Chronoform. And in a way, I suppose it makes him a spiritual successor to Microchange. God, imagine it's the era of Soundwave and Perceptor, and you find out that one day there's gonna be a full-size Transformer with a fully integrated alarm clock. And then you find out it's also a silly raccoon ball bag monster. Take that, Truth Bomb, back to 84. So the clock itself is pretty basic. It's pretty much a repurposed wristwatch. Am I gonna review a clock? It's a clock. It's got hands on it and numerals around the circumference. There's an extra yellow one there for the alarm, which, alright, that is weird. That doesn't work in this mode. That's a choice. Plus some bonus theming there that looks like it means something but doesn't. Like, those dials are just printed. They don't do anything. He's a time boy. He does time things. So yes, the beast mode on Bilbo Ball Baggins here is actually a real treat. It does the thing it does as professionally as it can, while fearlessly slathering on the silly novelty schmaltz, but backing it up with piles of personality and a copious quantity of charisma. Scrotally amazeballs. Transformation's an unusual move for Neo, in that it's intuitive, straightforward, and doesn't make me want to bite my own fingertips off at the knuckle. He just opens up. The head makes way for the head, the arms remain the arms, the butt transforms into a butt. Gotta say, that waist hinge is a bit scary 20-something years on, but we vibe. There's something very classically Beast Wars about it. It's much more Polar Claw than Mac Kick. And thank God. And that energy very much carries forward into the heroically handsome hunk of a bot mode. Big Beans Means Heinz here just feels very Season 1 Beast Wars. Very maximal, like a righteous mecha mammal man. McCamamalman? Harold McMaximalman? Because the robonants are actually super lush, and they mesh weirdly well with the fuzzier portions. It's very evocative of that anime-era beastie artwork where they just look like robots wearing faux furs. Like, Heinrad's probably the best example I can think of that aesthetic working well in toy form. You can be fluffy and badass. You can be soft and go hard. I mean, check out that head. That is a low-key all-timer bot bonce, boasting a sleek and shimmery style and some timeless robot design. Like, there's no stupid extreme 90s Ninja Turtle grimace or goofy rodenty cartoon buck teeth or whatever. It's simply a handsome Autobot-y visage with gorgeous angular deep red eyes, this cool cobalt helmet and chin strap, along with effortlessly integrated sculpted hair. It's got goggles, man! Just sick-ass stick-outy lime green cyberpunk hacker goggles with little Batman ears. Come on. What is it with time boys and their goggles? So overall, Heinrad just feels very polished and future-y. I love the silvery tones of the swish sky blue leg metal, with cheeky hydraulic toe points, gobbly biomech muscle vibes, and extremely unorthodox shin-mounted missile storage. Arms are nicely round and vaguely bionic looking, boasting weird long hands and opposable thumbs, totally holding their own even while dangling from the generous vertical shoulder scoops. Serious baboom vibes there. And even in spite of the slightly odd shoulders, the articulation's remarkably solid. It's weird, like, you got some mildly restrictive ankles with no sideways tilt, and there is some kind of weird action on the go, but you can still basically manage most poses. It feels feels kind of cool and unsanctioned, like he's operating outside the standardized system. Ooh, he's a maverick. Anyway, you'll be delighted to know that the clock is actually fully operational in this mode, with like the battery bay and the dial available for action round the back and the head bumping up and down to activate the alarm. It is kind of neat how well integrated it all is, because so much of the meat of the toy is dedicated to just being a clock. The whole body is just the clock and the housing for the clock, and yet it doesn't feel forced either way. It's just being a clock is who he is. Like, the clock works great and it's all fine, but it still has enough room to be a good toy in its own right. Considering what this is a giant action figure that transforms and it's got a clock and balls, it's amazing how tastefully it's pulled off. I mean, I've come to expect a few things from Beast Wars Neo, and real shit, subtlety ain't on the list. I think it's fair to say it's a line best known for its outlandish designs and calamitous kibble-strosities. Heinrad ain't either of those, really. I mean, there is kibble, but it's very low impact. You just got the little paws hanging loose there, the tail chilling. It could just be a robot with a tail, why not? We do have shoulder-mounted head halves, but like, there's some token robot detail in there. They tuck away well enough. There you go, that could work. Is that better? I don't know. It really ain't that bad, you know. Next to lads like Break or Big Convoy, it's positively conservative. Anyway, speaking of subtlety, where's his bollocks gone? Where's the scrotum on this robot? Where is that scrobot? They're just dangling, quietly shoved off to the side like they're not even a thing, with that bright red sore spot spark crystal shining bold as brass. I'd get that looked at me. Now then, what about J. Robert Oppenheinrad's nuclear weapons? Yes, mate, our favourite big baller can combine his personal effects into an oddly classy launcher, which has the look of some gorgeous traditional ceremonial urn, but is in fact a party bazooka powered by booze and debt. Same. It's just so unusual, from the oddly piecemeal form of it, to the sort of ceramic-looking surface, to the kanji and the stringy straps and the oddly protruding sideways hand mount. But what I think is most remarkable is that it's probably the weirdest thing about the robot mode, because I came to Robert A. Heinrad here prepared for the whoa weird factor, but the truth is the gimmicks and the clock and the nutsack kind of precede him. They're almost a given. They're the hook. What I wasn't expecting was for Heinrad to be a truly solid, decent transformer, and one of my favourite examples of the Beast era experience. Just tight and tidy and symmetrical, with very little limb hang, and a heaping helping a heart, and honest to goodness handsomeness. My impression of Beast Wars Neo does regardless remain unchanged. It definitely lives at the quirkier end of the mysterious import spectrum, and it definitely feels like they did it on purpose. I'm still yet to encounter anything from Neo that wasn't willfully weird, and Jessica Heinrad here is no exception. I mean, it's up to you whether it's an amazing import prestige collectible or just a silly novelty alarm clock, because the truth is that it's kind of both. It can fulfill either need. Is it charming? Yes. Is it cheesy? Yes. Is it tacky? Yes. Is it brilliant? Yes. And if nothing else, it's an uncharacteristically and gratifyingly straightforward feature-focused item that houses several truly singular gimmicks and nonetheless delivers a decent transformery experience and an utterly inimitable charm. And that's what makes Heinrad such a fine lad. Balls. God, my hands are a mess in this one, sorry. I'm a state right now. Hope you enjoyed that one, hope you didn't hate it, hope you didn't think it was a load of bollocks. Huge thanks to all the patrons for keeping me afloat out here, keeping the channel moving, and especially the Neo glitch, not on purpose. I didn't pick that because of Beast Wars Neo. These are truly random. The Neo glitch just happened to show up on a Beast Wars Neo one. Thank you, Neo glitch. See you next time, gang. Keep it foolish.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.